Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. I'm here to make another portfolio update, this time for the end of November. As I'm recording this, it is actually November 30th. However, it is a Sunday, so the books are closed for the month. This is it. It is what it is, so let's get to it. Now, keep in mind, this portfolio update is a little unusual because I'm making a lot of drastic changes to the account. I'm working on different strategies, so it is all a work in progress. But regardless of that, let's get to it. So you can see here, this is the wheel strategy spreadsheet. This is the monthly income breakdown. So for the month of November, again, keep in mind, I'm done with the wheel strategy for now, because most of you know, I'm doing a different type of option strategy, utilizing synthetic positions, still selling calls, things like that. I'm just not doing the wheel per se. All right. So I'm kind of moving on from this spreadsheet tracking, moving on from this exact strategy. So I am aggressively selling calls in order to get out of these positions. So this income that you see here will not be consistent going forward. However, obviously I need to track it for the month of November because it was made for the month of November. All right. So for the month of November, TSLL, I've made $989 in options premium. TNA, I made $690. Open, I made $686. ASST, I made $276 with a total income, options premium income of $2,641. But like I said, this is going to go down to nothing at some point because I'm done trading options. You can see last month that was like 943, so much less. Well, the month before that I did pretty good, but regardless, we're utilizing our capital elsewhere with a different strategy. So December, obviously, it's going to go down. And then I'll probably be done in December. Actually, that should be the last month I'm doing the wheel strategy. All right. Outside of that, of course, my new strategy is called Rody. Basically, think of it as creating, a poor man's covered call, essentially. But two sides, right? I'm creating the synthetic combo position, which is the buy, call, sell, put. And then, of course, I am also buying a put for downside protection. And good thing I did, because when I started my new strategy, I got my ass kicked right away. Got my ass kicked right away. The market went down. Some of the stocks I invested in went down a lot, and you'll see that in the numbers for sure. But yeah, man, it was we got a wake up call. We'll just say that. So yeah, the idea is I start those three legs and then I sell calls on the long call. But again, this video is not about the strategy, the new strategy. This video is about the income I create from the strategy. I apologize if you guys can hear the dog barking, but yeah, for some reason we said, all right, it's a good idea. Let's get a dog, let's make our lives more complicated. So you can see here for the month of November, I made for Open. Open is one of the stocks I trade. Options premium, I made 566. SoFi brought in 909. ELF, which is, part of the reason you'll see my capital drop so much this month, did still bring in 578 in options premium. Robinhood, again, just selling calls. I made 718. Also, I did on Robinhood, I did sell a credit put spread. We call it the side piece on Rody, but either way, 718 total. Palantir brought in about 1,018. IWM 562 and QQQQ $700. Total income from this options premium is 5,051. Now, capital used. This is just something I'm going to track going forward, because again, I'm using the idea of the new strategy is I don't have to use as much capital as I did before. So I want to see, all right, based on the income that I make and the capital that I'm using, how much am I actually yielding? And you can see I yielded about 14% for the month. And if I do annualize that, that's 174% on an annualized basis, which, in any world, any planet, that's good, right? So not bad, not bad. Now we take those two numbers and now we throw it into this table here. This is the summary breakdown. I just started, again, it's a new tracker. It just started last month. You can see the starting balance was about 79K. Combined the two accounts. We said, all right, we're just going to do options trading mainly going forward. And so for the month of November, which is the first month, starting balance was 79,000. My estimated income was 3,200. My estimated bills about 2,000. All right, so I'm only tracking Rody income here because again, the wheel strategy is going to be gone. No point in even adding it at this point. So I made 5,051, right? Was that the number? Yeah, 5,051 on Rody income. And then margin interest was 0 because I'm not using margin. I have margin, I just haven't used it. STRC, that, you may recall last month, I did invest in a money market. And then I kind of learned about STRC. I know more MSTR, more Bitcoin related crap. Yeah, but they pay 10% and they seem like a good choice. So I'm going to go with it. And I did buy some. However, I did not get a dividend yet. They do pay 10% on an annualized basis. All right. So the total income between Rody, margin interest, and STRC, same thing, 5,051. All right. That is over my goal of 3,200. And by the way, my goal is technically only to yield 50%. So obviously, I don't have to, this 5,051, it exceeded the goal. So I took maybe a little too much risk to get this amount. I did not need that whole amount. So this is something I need to learn. I need to break down, my current positions. They're probably enough. And to be honest, I probably don't have to add anything, to my current Rody position. So again, it is what it is. Learning in progress. That's all we'll say. All right. So anyway, I made 1,700 more than I needed to. My bills actually calculated to be 1,852. So what bills? All right. So again, this, if you look up here, November, since I combined the two accounts, I have all the bills that were in the other account in this account, which to be honest was kind of a pain in the ass. For those of you that had Charles Schwab, just an FYI, if you're setting up bill pay, the checking account information, the routing, the checking account number, what you see on the website is not the correct number. You actually have to order checks and you have to get the checking account number from the checks. They will not give you that until you order the checks. So I did this a long time ago when I set up the mortgage and I completely forgot. And I set up the bill pay using the wrong account number. So I'm kind of behind. They didn't go through. I had to fix them. So hopefully by December, all of these will actually go through the normal process. But again, something you have to learn, something you have to set up, but it's all good. But as long as the vendors that you're paying, they accept, checking account information as payment, which again, most of them prefer that, believe me, over credit cards, because credit cards, they get charged a fee for that. So they'll, of course, they prefer the ACH method. So that's how I have all of these set up. So anyway, my mortgage is 1,300. And before you say that's cheap, don't forget, this does not include property taxes. This does not include homeowners insurance, but it does include a 2.875% interest rate. So that I'm grateful for. My gas bill was $76. Not bad, but winter's coming. This is going to go up. Internet and phone. This is cell phone and home internet, $248. Again, that's normal. Parents' internet. This is just further. They have another house located in a different location. They never had internet, and the kids always complained. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll pay it. I'll add it to the bill, and I did. $35. Not bad. Electric bill, $192. Kind of end of summer, so not too bad either. So anyway, total bills, $1,852. The goal is to have all the bills come out of this account. However, for some reason, I can't get my car insurance to register using the checking account information. And the other bills, again, property tax. They're so old school. I don't know what, forget it, and then I don't know. But so this is probably going to be it for now. The 5 bills, which total 1,800. And if I go back to the summary page, my estimate for the bills around 2,000. So that, again, that's just for the calculation going forward, FYI. All right. So anyway, since the bills were 1852, if I take how much I made minus the bills, how much was left over? 63%. So technically, I reinvested 63% of that. However, if you go over here, look at the balance. Look at the starting balance for the month of December. A better breakdown is over here. You could see I ended 10/31. I had a balance of $79,000. This end of November, I have a balance of now $72,000. That is a $7,000 drop or 8% drop. Now, why is that? Well, obviously, I had about 1,800 coming out in bills, but again, I made 5,000 in options. So what happened? What happened is, again, the Rody positions that I opened, for example, ELF, I created a synthetic position. Although I had the downside protection, it went down. It went down 40%. I didn't get hit by the full 40% thanks to the put, but ELF went down 40%. Again, obviously, that's a huge drop, unexpected, and it happened. So it is what it is. I also bought into Palantir and Robinhood, and they both dropped as well. Not as bad, but pretty bad. Again, I jumped the gun. I jumped into too many positions at the same time. So when the market kind of did its little mini half-ass correction, I got sunk with it. So that's why it's kind of like I'm going to call it a temporary decrease in the balance. I'm not worried about this at all. I know it doesn't look good, but it doesn't matter. This is going to correct over time. So, all right, let's look at the other numbers though. Cash position, I have $51,000 in cash. Again, that's 71% of the account. However, keep in mind there is an options requirement that's pending. If you look down here, that's 28,000. All right. So if you look at actual cash, which is cash 51,000 minus options requirement, that comes to $27,000. So my actual full cash position in this account is 38%. And I like that. That's good. 40% would be better, but how much do you really need in cash? Also, I do have $5,799.60 invested in STRC. Again, this is one of the preferred stocks that MSTR issued. They're going to pay you out approximately 10% on an annualized basis. And of course, the idea is the capital will stay flat. You'll see SWVXX. I made some notes here. They're currently at 3.96% annualized rate. I did reduce it to 0, only because the whole marginable after 30 days things kind of annoyed me. But I did leave it on here because I'm not going to lie, I may reconsider, but I just won't add 10,000 at a time because 10,000 was a lot of my account. So obviously having that amount on hold was kind of annoying. So if I do add to this position, the money market, 4% is no joke. 3.96% for no risk essentially is it's good. But 4%, ideally I could do much better than that. So again, maybe I'll put a small percentage of the portfolio into this, maybe like 3% or so. So maybe I'll add like 500 at a time. So that, I won't miss as that holds. So maybe I'll do like 500 in the month of December, 500 in January, and then eventually it'll be when it's 3% of the total. Because don't forget, I can use this to sell puts against. So that was one of the selling points for me. All right, what else? Total invested shows to be about 20,000. Actual cash, we went through that. Margin, I mentioned I'm not using, but I have available to me about $27,000. This is under the withdrawal margin bucket. What is the difference between withdrawal margin and trading margin? Well, withdrawal margin means this is how much money I can actually take from the account. And this is the number I have to use since I use this account as bill pay. Again, don't be confused with this. I'm putting the 1031 up next to the 1130 just for comparables. So I can use 27,000 additional dollars on top of the 23,000 in cash. So if you think about it, if the market has another downturn, I have 51,000 available to me around, plus or minus, whatever. Because again, margin can change as your portfolio balance goes down. Trading margin, if I didn't use this for bill pay, this is essentially the margin I could use for trading, right? I'm not going to say I can use this because keep in mind, if money leaves the account and this withdrawable margin is at 0, my bill pay is not going to work. So obviously I'm not going to ever really use the trading margin. In fact, it doesn't, I could just do it in italics or something like that just to make it look a little different, right? Because technically, again, I can't use it. Can't use it. Don't matter. And I should gray it, right? I should gray it out a little bit because it's gray. It's not something we use. All right. So anyway, so that's the balance. So that's how I got to the $72,000. I know. It's rough times, right? Rough times. So, the estimated starting balance is now, obviously that's going to update here. And now the numbers will run. And my new goal actually went down for the month of December based on the new amount, right? To 3,029. So I'm going to keep that in mind now. When I do the Rody play, when I sell calls, I don't have to be as aggressive as I have been, right? So I only need to make 3,029. What, 2,000 on my bills. That'll still leave me $1,000 to reinvest because I would like to keep, maintain the capital, of course, along the way. I took a huge capital hit, but again, mistakes were made. Lessons learned. All right, so just to have some fun here, if I go all the way down, what is my estimated income in July of 2033? $42,000 a month. And that's with $1 million portfolio. This, again, I haven't really thought about when I think I can retire, but I can definitely retire if I make $42,000 a month. With inflation in 2033, can I still? I think so. So again, I made a little funny tab here. My retirement goal, we'll just call it July 2033. I know that's 8 years away, which makes me want to cry, but it's better than nothing. I'd like to say this number is only going to go down, but for now, that people ask me for a date, there you go, July 2033. I know, too far away. All right, so we're not done, right? So now we explained the retire now account because again, it's all in there. We strive for 50% yield on an annualized basis, and then obviously we want to hit our monthly goals. We took a hit, but we plan on making it back. So I'm not worried. Don't be worried. But now what do? We go to all the bills. All right. So now let's take a look at this. I'll leave October up next to November. So for right here, you can see I have retire now, dividends and options. This kind of, we used to separate it. Now it's just one, but I did add it for this month. Should I add? I shouldn't really add the wheel, should I? Because it's fake, it's fake. It's fake income. It's actual income, but it's not going to be consistent. So there you go. That's my actual income. My options income, 5,051. All right. So dividend car account, you'll see is 0. So that account is closed. So I no longer have an income from that. So you can see I had 2,000 last month, but now I have 0. But all good. In fact, we can hide that. We can hide this because this account is now, well, it's not closed. I'm still working on that, but it's essentially closed. YouTube. Oh man, YouTube. What can I say? I can do a video on that alone, but man, oh man, my numbers not good. Not good. The numbers are down. Why are the numbers down? Well, for one, I could probably say maybe because the stock market's been a little beat up lately. Number two, I stopped my coverage that really got me here, right? I did the daily Misty coverage, Tesla, this, that, the other thing, that, the detailed trades. And, I stopped doing that. Now I still do it, just a different method. And I don't think people like it as much. So that's, my guess. And also I've been doing more coverage on my own options, which is really what I want to do, to be honest. Talk about my own trades, but, I'm still going to do, YieldMax coverage. I'm still going to do Granite shares. I'm going to throw in some Rec shares, maybe some Roundhill at some point. So the moral of the story is I was so hyped up for YouTube, maybe about a year ago. And now, I got to be a little more realistic. The money's not there. The money's not in YouTube. And I'm not going to kill myself for 30 bucks a day. So it used to be better money. And right now, again, it's taking a hit, and it's okay. I'm grateful for where I'm even at. I'm surprised I even got this far. So 1900, that's great income for the month of November. December, though, it's not going to be pretty. It's probably going to be like $1,000, right? So, that's going to be a big hit. I don't know where I'm going to plateau at. I got to think about, because I did stop doing interviews too. I don't interview fund managers anymore, really. So that, those videos always did the best. Because I'm kind of like on a makeover phase, and I needed like a mental break, to be honest. So obviously it's gonna take a hit to the channel. So there's other priorities in life too. But again, I am a YouTuber forever. That's for sure. I'm never gonna stop doing YouTube. I love it. Obviously, hence this video. I love doing the updates, and I definitely love talking about my account. I try to talk about other funds to the best of my ability, but which is fun too. But it's all fun. It is all fun and entertainment, right? But anyway, that's why that's kind of down. And you go back to prior months, you can see like my best month was 4,800. Obviously 1,900, and then 1,000 for December will be big hit. All right, Twitter's a joke. You could see it, 84 bucks for the month. I mean, that is what it is. I don't even care. I mean, it's better than nothing. Again, I'm typing text. What do you really expect to get paid to type text? What else? Well, monthly income. So if I add this all up together, so between YouTube, dividends, options, and Twitter, that's $7,000. All right, $7,000. And is that good? No, it's not good, because that's not going to pay for a family of 4 and a dog now, family of 5. So, work in progress. We will get there. If I annualize that, it's 84,000. That's definitely not going to cover a family of 4.5, 4 and a dog in the state of New Jersey. So yeah, let's get real. All right, so let's look at these other bills. Let's see what kind of bills I got going on. Again, we talked about the mortgage, the property taxes. That's a quarterly bill. It comes to about $690 a month, though. Homeowners annual bill comes to about $192 a month. Car payment, it's now 0, so that's paid off. So I can now hide this row. We can move on from this, because again, we had the dividend car account, which was specifically made to pay off the car. But then when I decided to close the 2 accounts, we said, you know what, just get rid of the stupid car payment. And we got rid of it. We got the title. So that's one less thing to worry about. Car insurance is about $173. Water and sewer, $84. Gas bill is 76. Electric bill is 2. Is this not updated? Let's see. Electric bill. Yeah, 192. Okay. So it did go down because obviously, remember, look at the summer. Oh my God, 467, 370. So obviously, thankfully, it goes down a little bit. I know people say do the budget. I don't like doing the budget because I want to see what the actual bill is, right? I don't want it like buried in there. All right. Anyway, home internet, phone, we went through this, 248. Parent internet, 35. Daycare, yeah, we still do daycare. We did not get in the preschool. They have a lottery where we live. Of course, we didn't get picked. Shocker. So we still have to pay for daycare because we want him to go to a preschool type environment. That's only for 2 days though. So 2 days cost about $606 per month. Is that a ripoff? I mean, I guess so. It's much more expensive in other areas in New Jersey though. So to me, that's a good deal. To others, it may not look like a good deal. I'm also, again, adding future expenses like healthcare/dental. My guesstimate for that is around $1,500. I did not add life insurance yet. Still, obviously, I'm slacking on that. Grocery bill, about $1,600 a month. Miscellaneous, $2,000 a month. Social Security, Medicare, income tax, federal income. Again, all the taxes will add up to be about $2,500. All right. So if you add all that up, you're going to have to pay an additional $2,500. So take that out of all that. So that being said, my bills have totaled to be $11,201 for the month. And you can see my $7,000 in income is not covering that. So yeah, I am nowhere near close to retirement. So let's not even, I kind of had a reality check over the past maybe 1 to 3 months. Once things slowed down on YouTube, and things like that. It's just, I need to like check myself, like slow your roll, buddy. You ain't going nowhere. It's not as easy, as it looks. So obviously I'm going to be at my job for some time, and I get that. It is what it is. It's not, no big deal to me, but I gotta come up with just a better strategy to how I can retire early and come up with a more reasonable age and plan to do that. I haven't really drawn it out, but obviously you can see here on the summary page. This is realistic. 50% a year is so doable, very doable. It's just, again, you've seen the capital. The capital took a hit. The capital took a massive hit. So that's going to slow me down now, obviously. So I need to be more calculated and more careful, since my goal, again, is it's not as aggressive as how much I made. I didn't have to make that much. So maybe I just took too much risk when I shouldn't have to earn that income. So what I'll do now going forward is obviously I'll slow down. I have a bunch of positions now. And, for those of you not familiar with Rody, I can show you kind of like the positions that I hold: Open, SoFi, Elf, Robinhood, Palantir, IWMQs. And, you can see here's the exposure, heavy on Palantir. Again, is this a smart move? No, absolutely not. It's not. I should be higher in the indexes instead of the individuals. But at first, I didn't even have the indexes. In fact, I thought about, we thought about this later, add the indexes. So again, like I said, you live, you learn. We're trying different things. We're trying new things. It's gonna be bumpy in the beginning, and it is bumpy. So it's all good. But again, this is the portfolio update for the month of November 2025. I'm very excited about the future, about the new way we're doing options. I know the channel name is Retire on Dividends, but at least I'm getting dividends from STRC, right? So there is that, but not November, December we will. But eventually, at some point, yes, I should kind of probably add some stable dividend options to the account. I'm just not ready to do that. I'm having too much fun. So yeah, I know that, but I love the name. I'm always going to keep the name, even if I'm doing options the whole time. I'm still Retire on Dividends. So don't worry. People always say I'm Rue. That's my alter ego, Rue, Retire on Options. But yeah, Retire on Options is doesn't go as well. Retire on Dividends sounds better. Plus, Rod sounds better than Rue. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the portfolio update. Let me know if you have any questions. But obviously, at the end of each month going forward, this will be the spreadsheet that I use. This and Rody, of course, the wheel strategy. We're taking a break from that. And we're going to try the synthetic way, the synthetic combo collar. That's what we'll call it, with some sides here and there of puts. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any questions. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we'll try again next month. All right, what else? If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. And yeah, if you want to help out the channel, you know what to do. Tell your friends, tell your friends. All right? Sound good? Anyway, yeah, this is a pre-record. Why not? I didn't want to go live. I figured I'd do a pre-record here and there. I'll make it available to the Wolfpack sooner than the rest. So you'll see it come out a little earlier to the Wolfpack, and then obviously to the public later on. But any of you Wolfpack members, thank you. I know I don't say thank you enough, but I appreciate you supporting the channel. And of course, ROD supporters as well. All right, I think that's enough for the portfolio update. If you want to know anything additional for the next portfolio update, please let me know. Outside of that, I'm out of here, and I gotta say, later.